More and more information is leaking out of the Epstein archives, and the internet is going crazy at the long list of influential people connected to him. Naomi Campbell happens to be one of those names. The world-renowned supermodel and entertainment star Naomi. Yes, that Naomi. This time, it's not her social connections to Jeffrey Epstein that have brought her back into the limelight. Something much worse has brought her into the spotlight.
What he's done is indefensible. And when I heard of what he'd done, it sickened me to my stomach just like everybody else.
In addition, her legion of devoted followers are going ballistic at the possibility that federal agents have released audio suggesting she may have brought underage models to Epstein's exclusive social circles. Rumor has it that the model is now maintaining a low profile globally and is either isolating herself from the possible ramifications or abandoning the scene entirely. However, let's take a little step back before we go into all that. Let's take a step back from Naomi and focus in on the guy at the heart of it all. Because the Epstein case itself is one of the most horrible trafficking and abuse stories in recent history. Jeffrey Epstein was a New York banker who, interestingly enough, began out as a math and physics teacher at a private school before reinventing himself in elite financial circles. Over the years, he cultivated contacts with politicians, businessmen, celebrities, and even monarchy. Epstein, however, avoided decades in prison by agreeing to a contentious plea agreement in 2008 and serving only 13 months of his sentence. For years following, charges against him continued to flood in. Dozens of women came forward, many alleging they were vulnerable adolescents at the time of the alleged assault. But even after all of that, it wasn't until 2019 that he was ultimately arrested, this time on severe charges connected to claims going back to the late 1990s and early 2000s.
Right hand, please.
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
It's unsettling to him. Complaint filed by Virginia Roberts against you. Isn't it true, sir, that a friend of yours sent you 3 12-year-old females for you to abuse on one of your birthdays?
Form argumentative, harassing, and irrelevant.
And before it could all go to trial, Jeffrey was discovered dead in his detention cell in Manhattan. But his secrets didn't die with him.
You think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
His death didn't shut the book on his crimes. It opened it wide open. And his well-kept secrets, along with those of some of the most prominent individuals and celebrities, began gushing out. The recent revelation of millions of papers related to him has brought many things to light and has pushed the public to look carefully at everyone who moved inside his exclusive circle. People are now beginning to raise all the difficult questions about the prominent names revealed in those records. And one of those names is supermodel Naomi Campbell.
What he's done is indefensible. And when I heard of what he'd done, it sickened me to my stomach just like everybody else.
Oh yeah, Naomi Campbell is all over the Epstein files. And I remember hearing these rumors about, oh, Naomi used to recruit girls for them. And I was like, I don't see it. Like, surely not. But no, sure enough, she was consistently emailing him.
Now here's where things get complex. For years, even before Epstein's ultimate arrest, Naomi had been the target of frequent blind articles suggesting that she was deeply enmeshed in exclusive boat culture, billionaire parties, and the network. Some people have even gone as far as dubbing her a so-called yacht madam and pimp, stating that she has functioned as a strong conduit between affluent men and young, vulnerable models for years. Others have hypothesized about improper activities relating to the house she owns in Kenya. Although these charges have never been substantiated, now that Epstein's network has been established, those old suspicions have reappeared with a fury, and everyone is asking just how much she knew about it all.
That Naomi Campbell knows, ain't nobody ready for that. That's Delilah. The woman that can do what no other man could do.
In numerous cases, she pled guilty or claimed responsibility for hitting a paparazzi photographer, a pilot, and even 2 police officers. While none of these incidents are tied to Epstein, they do illustrate that Naomi doesn't have the finest reputation behind the scenes. And if that isn't enough, there's another big name caught up in all this: Sean Diddy Combs. For years, Naomi and Diddy were incredibly close, so close that there were even romantic rumors floating at one time. However, they shut them down, subsequently referring to each other as family, like brother and sister.
I've always said that I'm not a saint, that I am a work in progress, but I will not be held hostage by my past.
Did you know who he was?
Yes, I knew him. I was introduced to him on my 31st birthday by my ex-boyfriend Flavio. He was always front and center.
At the time, it merely appeared like two super famous personalities moving inside the same social milieu. But now that Diddy is facing his own severe claims, the internet has begun re-examining everyone in his close circle. Her involvement with both men has caused admirers to wonder if these elite networks were more interwoven than they looked, and whether Naomi was the link between Diddy and Epstein when it came to the young girls and aspiring models surrounding them. Claims from web sources and fan conjecture indicate that Naomi was connecting them to older, rich men with the promise that such connections may improve their lives overnight.
Then she fell off because she met up with Naomi. Naomi knows a lot of these millionaire and billionaire guys, so she connects you to them. She will connect you. Oh, darling, you know, so-and-so has the hotel, the Fontainebleau in Miami. I'll easily connect you. So they connect you, and then that's it. That's how it starts.
And what do you
kind
think
of
she
like,
gets out of it?
Well, she gets money.
Her name even crops up over 200 times in the Epstein files, and that alone has the internet losing it. But it's the emails that really have folks talking. Some date all the way back to the early 2000s and show Naomi going back and forth with Epstein, urging him to contact her and insisting they needed to chat and meet. Fans online have been studying every phrase and theorizing that it may all be tied to the young ladies supposedly brought into his world and his island.
Naomi was over at Epstein Island. Everybody knows that. And guess what? She ain't saying shit. And if I was her, I wouldn't either. She got a golden ticket with the information that she got. And if I was her, I hold on to it as long as I can.
Naomi was apparently at occasions where young females were supposedly present, and she's even noted more than 20 times on Epstein's private jet flight records. Naturally, people are also speculating if she was alone on these travels or whether she was bringing others along.
Naomi Campbell's face. You know, shouldn't she be saying, what is a little girl doing at my birthday party? I would ask that question. I have birthday parties. I don't see any minors being tracked at any of my birthday parties. It's not a normal thing. This is not a normal thing in society. Why are they making it normal and okay?
There is Naomi Campbell's name right here. Not only was Naomi Campbell's name mentioned in the anonymous leak, but she was also listed on the Jeffrey Epstein private flight logs as well. Here's a screenshot of that official document, and here's a close-up of Naomi Campbell's name. Allegedly, Naomi Campbell was listed over 20 times.
But if you thought it stopped there, just hang on, because it gets much more twisted. Numerous fans now suspect that authorities may have supposedly released film of Naomi, not only hanging out with Epstein on the island, but also allegedly appearing in scenarios with underage girls and maybe even transferring them to unknown areas. The videos themselves haven't been proven officially, but the rumors alone have people talking. So many on the internet are convinced that Naomi Campbell isn't simply a supermodel, but that she has a hidden private property where she runs a syndicate for the global elite. Kind of like a fresh version of the Epstein operation. It has been alleged that her ex-billionaire lover, Vladislav Doronin, gave her a private island with a gigantic eco-mansion designed like the Egyptian Eye of Horus on Sadir Island in Turkey. And we also know that Naomi has one of the biggest luxury houses in the beach town of Malindi in Kenya, which is a private, high-end hideaway where she has welcomed many renowned guests over the past 20 years. So, is this where she operates her own secret syndicate that is comparable to what occurred at Epstein's Island? Well, guess who is stating that there may be more to this Naomi angle? Yep, Tyra Banks.
We did a fashion show. I don't remember what it was. It might have been Jenny or something like that in Milan. And we were doing that fashion show backstage, and you came up to me right when I was about to walk out, and you said something. And it's so funny because it was so surreal at the time when you said it. I didn't think that you could actually say something like that.
What did I say?
You said something like, "You'll never be me, don't ever think that you'll be me," and something like that.
I said that?
Yes.
Honey, if Tyra, who has seen the worst aspects of the business and previously stated she was really terrified of Naomi, is throwing signals that people shouldn't sleep on her, that seems like a warning. See, Tyra knows precisely how the mentorship game works and could have seen things backstage that haven't made it into the tabloids yet. And she might be hinting that Naomi's influence extends far beyond the runway and deep into those exclusive circles where mentoring might truly be recruiting. Sheesh, I definitely hope y'all are sitting. Okay, I know that there's no way Naomi Campbell is escaped those Epstein links since the new records plainly demonstrate that she and Epstein kept in communication throughout a 15-year period from 2001 to 2016. And there has been so much material tying the two of them in the recent papers. Well, Naomi had denied any connection to Epstein, but when people placed pressure on her, she revealed that she was introduced to Epstein on her 31st birthday by her ex-boyfriend Flavio Briatore, and that Epstein was always front and center at Victoria's Secret fashion presentations. She added that she had no knowledge Epstein was using her name to entice young ladies interested in modeling, and that, like he did with many others, he oversold their familiarity. She also added that she greatly regrets having had any interaction with Epstein after his conviction and said that, despite rubbing shoulders with Epstein, whom she termed one of the hundreds of thousands of individuals she stood next to for a picture, she was uninformed of his alleged crimes at the time.
This is a direct character assassination. I've always said that I'm not a saint, that I am a work in progress, but I will not be held hostage by my past. What he's done is indefensible.
For instance, according to the emails, Naomi Campbell attended many opulent parties with Epstein, flew with him, begged to borrow his plane, and visited his house in New York. Something else that's worth mentioning is that in 2010, 2 years after Epstein's conviction for obtaining an escort not yet of age, Naomi Campbell's boyfriend, Russian millionaire Vladislav Doronin, requested Epstein to accompany the pair on a private boat tour up the Nile in Egypt. That same year, Epstein asked Doronin if 2 of his friends may attend his party in Moscow. In addition, emails also showed that in 2016, Epstein contemplated acquiring Brazilian modeling companies, especially negotiating with Ford Models. While Ford Models, which previously represented Naomi Campbell, denies any contact with Epstein, the records reveal his continuing interest in utilizing the modeling profession as a vehicle to meet women. What others are suggesting is that maybe Naomi was really the one who advised that Epstein should call the agency, since it would probably be simpler for her to procure the ladies for him that way. Other than this, one of the accusers who was flown to the island even called her out for lying, stating, "You saw me at your events. You saw me in Epstein's residences. You saw me on the aircraft. You watched me get my hair cut. You spotted me on the streets. You saw me." There's also another communication that reveals Epstein's accomplice, British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell, proposing to send Naomi 2 playmates. Speaking of Ghislaine, by the way, the DOJ had previously issued a transcript of an interview between Ghislaine Maxwell and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. In it, Maxwell indicated that Naomi Campbell certainly visited Little St. James, which was Epstein's private island, at some time. She even indicated that Naomi and Epstein had a connection that was separate of hers.
Her relationship, her friendship, you're making me use your word. her friendship, whatever, with Mr. Epstein was independent of me.
Okay.
As if this doesn't connect them enough, investigation strands and summaries of the 2026 files reveal Epstein's network looked into recruiting centers in East Africa, notably in Nairobi and the coastline districts of East Africa. And interestingly, in January 2021, the Kenyan Ministry of Tourism designated Naomi Campbell the International Magical Kenya Tourism Ambassador, where, as I mentioned, she owns private property. Now, the assumption coming around is that Naomi utilizes her mentoring programs, like her reality show, The Face Asterix, or her work with young models, as a cover to identify and conceal young women at these private estates. The idea is that these young ladies aren't only receiving job counsel, they're apparently being groomed to be sold or exchanged to high-ranking elites, politicians, and billionaires. Actually, you know what? Naomi has been accused of operating her own syndicate, not only on her own land in East Africa, but also in her eco-mansion designed like an eye. And many have even remarked that they assume a lot of ritualistic acts also take place there. Because the home was intended to appear precisely like an ancient Egyptian symbol, conspiracy theorists sometimes connect it to Illuminati or satanic rituals, alleging the form is really a signal